Okay. Mhm. Well, we're waiting for everybody to show up. It's almost time for the first meeting of our summer fall. And I'm super excited about it because there's a lot of new people in our group today and tomorrow. Some returning people that I'm excited to continue working with, and just a lot of new things going on, which you'll see if you follow us online. We separated our partnership with the Drama Gallery and in artsy so that we can focus on our collaborations um, and gaining exposure for our collaborators as well. And have just a little bit more control over the aesthetics and the things that we're putting on there. Although we weren't limited aesthetically, we were never like told we couldn't put something. So I'm just excited to be back at this. I had to cancel it after my series of strokes in November of 2022. Yeah, it's 2024. I had to think about it for a moment. So I'm very excited about being back on there as a solo entity again. There's a lot of work to do to move some of the artists and shows over. Um, I don't know what I'm going to move yet. I'm probably just going to move artist over and some key pieces and then build out from there. So I'm not really sure yet. It's such a labor intensive platform that I want to be very smart about how I do it and not just try to move everything because it doesn't make any sense. It's there, it's in Dama until August 30th. So we'll start building our profile out and maybe just start introducing some new shows for August, which is super exciting. I'm working with a printmaking collective in Puebla right now. Maybe it's a good opportunity to introduce them to the platform as well. So I'm super excited. I think it's going to be great. I'm having a huge issue right now with mosquitoes. So I have bites all over my legs and I'm putting on lotion in order to try to stop. Um, scratching. Here comes Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing much better now.
I know. What is going on? You have
Oh,
electricity again,
just
obviously.
do what?
You have electricity, obviously.
Yes, yeah. I came on Sunday night really late, and I was
Oh,
like, yeah, literally, like, thank God. It was
uh,
awful. That was really awful.
there was when I was living in Houston, I moved into an apartment on the west side, right on the loop, and the air conditioning kept going out, and it was horrible.
Yeah,
And I had to replace my bed because I had sweated so much in the 2 weeks it took them to figure it out. It was like really bad. So, hi,
That's
Joan.
really
oh
terrible.
God.
Hey, Michael. Hey, Janet, to win it.
Janet to
Hey, it's nice to see you again.
You too.
win. And are you still on vacation, Joan? Or
Nope, this is home. I just have 1,000 different places I can sit.
oh, okay. I was like, because I remember the place that you were at when last night, and I was like, is that the same place? Or
That was my brother's house.
oh, okay.
But this, look, if I tilt it right up here, I could have some good horns on my head. Let me go. There we go. There. Horns on my head. Hey, Caitlin.
Finally, the devil we know you to be.
Yeah. Woo.
Hi, Caitlin. How are you doing? Oh, yeah, I'm so sorry. The settings have it set to mute when you come on.
Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't, it's some, with the updates, they made you change security settings. So now when you come on, you have to turn on your microphone, whereas before you
Sorry.
didn't. We're missing a couple of people. Okay, so Kelly and Gavin are coming. They're a couple that work in sculpture in Los Angeles.
Oh, good. I wanted to ask what their work
we're waiting.
looked like after our chat last night about the fair. I wanted to see the
Well,
work.
we'll have the introductions tonight, so you get to see it. So that's
Good.
cool.
Yep. Perfect.
So let me just double check my email to make sure nobody is panicking. Nope, nothing in email. Okay, well, we'll just keep chatting for a moment, catching up with each other until they show up. Hopefully soon. You know how it is to squeeze in the first night. Oh, there's
Yes.
Andres Juarez Trancosco. Joan, I think you've met Andres before. He was there for the art week. You met him on the Sunday brunch.
Yeah, the Sunday thing. Yeah, the Kiki.
And Mason is supposed to be here as well.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yay.
I'm working with him to help, like, you know how it is, life can pull you away from the work. And we're working towards Art Week, the piece that he showed the head of. We'd like to be able to show, of course, the entire completed piece. So
Great.
that's what I'm hoping for here. No messages yet.
Is Mason considering the Materialis Fair then?
No, I can't imagine. No, I don't think he has any money to really do that.
Right.
It's an expensive proposition, right? So
I know. I'm on the fence myself. I got to make some decisions. So who else might be in since we're just waiting for a few minutes?
well, Caitlin's not there.
No, I asked her today. Well, she's just muted. She might be listening, but she said no. There you are.
I
We talk about you in the third person like you're not there.
No, I'm just finishing my presentation.
Right?
Yeah.
Likewise. Well, I'll go
But
last.
no, it's not a financial
you.
lift I can do right now. I mean, I've done the fairs. I just spent like $2,500 to go to New York. I didn't sell anything. I'm not saying I won't sell anything, but the financial risk is just like it's not in my budget.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I know, and that's the thing about these art fairs. They get so expensive. I mean, Clavo, for what faults that we had with it, it was affordable in comparison. So, especially because we could put in, like 15 people to the space. They had spaces that were expandable, and so that worked out really well for us in terms of that cost wise. But yeah, I mean, it's a difficult thing. Hi, Andres. ¿Cómo estás?
Hola, hola. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
All these weird things opening, things screens keep opening, and I'm having a major meltdown on my computer. I have deleted files to try to make space, and everything I do has only still gotten it to 10 gigs of overall space. So there's something wrong with the hard drive, and I've been backing everything up and trying to make sure I get as much off of there and store it as possible before it goes somewhere. I love those glasses, Andres.
Oh, thank you.
This is the second time in 1 month that I have been envious of your glasses.
Oh.
So it would be very dangerous to leave me alone in your home, because I would. Now, you have good glasses I would probably come to steal them.
Oh, okay. Thanks for heads up.
Let me really quickly just send an email to.
Sure.
Send them the link in the email just in case. Mason. All right. So, Andres, you didn't make it back for the opening in San Diego, right?
Oh, remember that I was there a week before.
Right. Yeah.
No, 2 weeks
wasn't
before.
sure if you're going to try to swing back or. Yes, it was great to see you there. In person again.
Yeah, I saw the photos of you there.
Yeah.
I didn't make it there either.
Oh,
At all, sadly.
I know. I really wanted to be there. It looked like it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Jennifer, we're talking about the Pride 7 show in the San Diego gallery that Andres and Joan and Alonso. Is that it? I think that was it.
I think so.
Yeah, it looked like you guys got a lot of good press on that.
Oh my God, yeah. He got like tons of press. Yeah, because he was award winner for community leader in the queer community. So yeah, he brought in a ton of press. Like, I don't think I've ever seen that much press on one. So hopefully
That's good.
Good, right?
Yeah,
so,
really good.
Oh.
I was I was in that same show 2 years ago, and he did a lot of press then too. And I got my image of my piece like everywhere that time as well. He just has the connections.
Well, when we did the Pride show in Mexico City, we got a lot of press, but it was rarely like individually focused on like gallery director or curator or anything like that.
Right. Oh yeah, all that. Right.
That was quite breathy, the scope of all their press. So you'll like. All right. So I don't think we're not going to wait for Mason, and I'm curious about the new couple.
Yeah, because he was on the call last night.
Right. Yeah. And let me check really quickly because I think
same place.
did they accept the calendar invite? I think they did. Yeah, they accepted the calendar invite. So they know. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started because we can put the link into the thing, and we can also have them present at the beginning of next week. I'm excited. Today we are officially back on Artsy as a solo gallery. I've already set up the profile. I was working on that for a few hours before this tonight. So we won't be sharing the platform with Dama Gallery anymore. I really feel like we're in different places in our gallery lives, and we could still be friends, of course. I mean, it's not you, it's me. I just want different things.
Does that mean the current shows are now over, or they've been
No,
moved?
they'll stay.
Or
Okay. They'll stay there until the dates that they close. So that gives me a little bit of time to start moving artist profiles over and things like that. So I mean, I would like to rebuild at least one, maybe like an annual exhibition of the Bureau, as just a recap of the last year. And so not full shows or anything, but do like one big recap of the Bureau, and then start listing new shows. But the good news is I really wanted to put the San Diego show on there, and I was not allowed to, too many degrees of separation. So now I can start partnering and using the platform to extend the visibility of others. I thought it was a hairpiece at first, and then I realized that she has a birdie on her head.
I have two, and they're really annoying.
Oh, there's two. I can see the second one. Wow. What kind of birds are they?
Sorry, they're green cheek conures. They're just like on one tonight.
Oh.
Yeah, ignore it.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi, sorry, I had the time difference wrong.
Okay. All right. So we're just doing some basic chatter here. We're just getting started. So you're right on time.
Perfect.
So I was just saying, Kelly, that today we split the partnership with Dab Art, Dama Galleries. We're on Artsy separate as of today, which is good. That happened quicker than I thought it was going to. So that's good.
Good.
Which will allow us to partner with some other galleries and queer organizations and things, and create some more visibility and community even with the platform. So I'm super excited about that.
Awesome.
And I was saying that we'll start by taking the last year of the Bureau of Queer Art and doing like a condensed show to move that over and then start producing onto that platform. So super excited about that.
Very exciting.
Yeah. But all the shows that are currently on there that go through August will continue to go through August. So, all right. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I feel like, who are we missing? We're missing Mason still, but we're going to go ahead and go without him. So we're going to say 12 minutes this evening. So that gives us some time to recap at the end and also kind of give a little bit of feedback overall within the group. So tonight, I want to go ahead and start with Joan. Joan, would you like to start tonight?
All right. Sure. I'll start. Let me share my screen. So some of you know me already, but some of you don't. I'm Joan Cox, and I'm in Baltimore, and I'm a figurative painter. And I'm going to show you a bit of my work. This one, are you seeing it?
Yes.
Excellent. This work is on view right now in San Diego, and I worked on the majority of this in the last residency, and it's about 6 by 6 feet in size, and it showed in the last residency exhibition with this group in Ventura, California. So that's pretty exciting. It's just making its tour up and around. And I got an email yesterday that it's upcoming in a virtual California show called Women Making Their Mark. So pretty excited about this piece. It's the latest, but let me show you some other things and you'll start to get a gist of my work, that all the paintings are of couples, of mostly women identifying lesbian couples, and showing kind of intimate, private moments at home, and sometimes intimate moments in nature, or even occasionally intimate moments in public. Let's see. This one as well was in the show in Ventura, although I actually might touch it up when I get it back. I'm still not totally in love with this one. And this one, and to give you some sense of scale, all of these are, maybe 30 by 40, 40 by 50, or even larger. 5 by 6 feet. This one is 9 feet tall. In fact, it's rolled out on the floor down here in the photo. This isn't not a final photo by any means. I'm still working on it, but it has to hang in about 2 weeks in DC for a solo show. I've been working on my faces here and really pretty excited about this one. So these are some finished things and almost finished things. This one is, maybe about 50–60% finished. So this one I'll be working on in the residency still. I started it last time. So I'll be looking for feedback on this one. And then for something fresh for you viewers who already know me, trying to have a new canvas. Whew, finally a new canvas, because I tend to work on them for a long time. It's also a good, I don't know, 50 or 60 inches tall. And I've done a lot of work up in this corner, but nothing on the faces yet. They look a little silly. But this is a new couple and another pencil drawing start on a small, this is particularly small for me, on a small canvas. So I'll be working on these in the residency and I'm hoping to get them completely done in the time that we're here. And then just in relation to the ephemera show that's coming up for the Dia de los Muertos in Mexico, I wanted to share these other types of work that I do, which are a little hard to understand when you see them in a flat photo. But
Is there a way that you can make the photos a little bit larger in the screen?
Yeah.
Maybe close the color palette.
Oh yeah, sorry about all that. I'm just in InDesign. Didn't really make a, let me close this or pull this over or something. Really make a true presentation for you.
Thank you. Sorry.
I don't have any graphic design skills at all. I didn't use them at all. So this is a frame that hangs suspended out in front of the piece. And then this is a sheet of Mylar with a little tiny painting on it, which casts a shadow here onto what is a watercolor monotype on paper. So this is a side view and this is a front view. And I wanted to share these because I want to create something like this for the ephemera show. You can see another example here, especially with this shadow of this painting on the clear Mylar creates what that creates here on this paper. It's pretty intense. And so the idea of shadows creating that, not permanent, a very, very impermanent moment in time.
Right.
I might want to work on something additional if I can possibly find the time. So I think that about covers it, unless you have any questions for me. It'd be nice and brief. I don't know if you were running a timer, Michael.
I am. You can't see the timer or no?
Oh, I do see it. 7 minutes. Is that how much I took up or how much I have left?
How much you have left?
Wow, I have a lot left. I guess
I know.
Get into all kinds of details.
Well, I mean, also, Joan, will you talk about the presentation that you did with the Gay Men's Chorus as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I should find it.
So.
Yeah, okay. So one of my paintings was selected for a performance to be done by the Gay Men's Chorus where they wrote music to my painting. They wrote like lyrics, they choreographed a dance, and then the whole thing was performed on stage at the Kennedy Center. Let me share my screen again. A few weeks ago, and then it was performed for a second time this past weekend in Minneapolis at the largest gathering of LGBTQ choruses in the world, like 1,500 choruses, some 7,000 members potentially saw this performance. Why can't I here just share my whole desktop? I don't know what else to do. Let's see this. It's just a little snapshot I put together. You can see the score, the music was written here. The painting itself was displayed enormously over the performers, over 200 singers. It was really intense and amazing that this happened. And all these different artists were involved, a choreographer. They put a book out. Here's a book now for sale with my painting and the 8 others that were used for this project. And they read the poem. So it was kind of presented like this. This is one of the other artists' works.
Hmm.
Yeah, pretty amazing stuff. I tried to do a screen recording of mine. So as part of my upcoming solo show, I actually want to put this on a video and play it during my solo show and put the original painting next to it. I have some of it. Here we go. So here's some of the actual performance. The Minneapolis version, they used 2 men to portray us in the painting,
Yeah, I saw that.
which is so cool,
Oh, that's
right? The one in DC used 2 women who portrayed the painting. It just brought my whole painting to life, and it was just an amazing experience.
What is the scale of these shadow pieces that you're working on?
They are all about 60 or 70 maybe inches long and about 35 or 40 inches wide.
Okay.
Like everything else that I do, kind of life size. Caitlin put one of them in her curated show embodiment that she put on this past spring here in Baltimore, and she included one of those works of mine with the baby on a swing. It's all about, is the baby there? Is the baby not there? Does the baby grows up? I mean, I had a baby before, and now I have a 10-year-old, and so they're not the same.
A 10-year-old and I'm 18.
Yes, always morphing. So I was trying to capture that feeling with those works.
Very interesting. Anybody have any questions for her in the last few minutes? Nothing.
Kelly, you're the only new one, so everyone else has either seen my work or.
No,
Yeah.
gorgeous work. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Do you anything else you want to say, or do you want me to just put your time
No,
up?
just go ahead, because who knows, we'll always run out of time at the end, so no need to eat up my time.
No, it's always like that, right?
Yeah.
Let's go over to Caitlin next. Caitlin?
Okay. Let's see. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. I've started doing a PC instead of a Mac because my computer got stolen. So give me a second.
What? Oh my God. Caitlin, car,
What?
computers. I mean,
She said the worst luck. And
I
it happened at
do.
work.
I've been like so not loving. That's for sure. How do I do this from a PC?
my washer dryer machine is out and I have to pay 3,000 pesos to have a new computer chip put into it because I bought it refurbished and they cut the cover that blocked it from the rain
Oh, geez.
and recover
Did
it.
You did it. You figured it out.
I feel like going from PC to Mac is like
Very, very difficult.
nobody prepares you. Okay. I'm Caitlin. I go by the I go by the moniker Katie Lynn. And that's because, like, as Joan formerly mentioned, I'm an exhibitions director in Baltimore, so I have like a little side hustle. My goals haven't changed because I didn't succeed in the first round. So they are to create a more sustainable art practice. Hold on, I have to read it. Through accountability and community, and build on my existing series and potentially develop a new body of work. I'm also interested in resource sharing and building and identifying my future goals and to gain insight on how to attain them. So I'm located in Baltimore, Maryland. Again, I'm the exhibitions director at Maryland Art Place. I'm adjunct faculty at JMU, Howard Community College, Shepherd University, and Prince George's County as of Monday.
Wow.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Pretty
Is
far.
it good? Is it?
I don't know.
I
It's
pay
pretty
for that
far away.
laptop, Joe.
Yeah.
It's not funny, but it's funny. This exhibition is currently down, but I did have one called Katie's World at Alchemy of Art that just recently closed. And then I have a couple upcoming that I'll share with the group, like, outside of this presentation. I'm still going to be part of the Towson University Cabinets of Curiosity show. I don't know how many people know this. I'm assuming only 2 that are presently on, but I also taxidermy. So that will be my taxidermy work, not my painting practice. They're 2 different practices. And then I also have the Ned Smith Nature Center.
I can't believe you kept that from us because that you mentioned you the way that you work. It all makes sense to me now.
Yeah, it's all coming together.
Exactly. I
I'm
just found
sorry.
out too, like a couple weeks ago when we.
Yeah. I do keep it kind of a secret. It's like not really what I want to be known. Like it's for me, not for the people. I'm a mixed media artist. Again, I live in Baltimore, Maryland. I got my BA in painting and drawing from Towson University. I got my master's in fine arts in curatorial practice and art criticism from the Ontario College of Art and Design. I use a lot of mixed media, so like printmaking, sculpting, drawing, painting, collage, and fiber. My work primarily explores ideas of identity, femininity, and domesticity. I also really like to fuck with the patriarchy in my work and the male gaze in terms of subverting it. I'm really interested in gender, and I utilize that through animal insect portraits specifically. I'm not going to get into all of this. Like, I'm sure you guys will kind of get the feel for my work. I'm just going to keep on keeping on. My work, this is like more of a recent body of work. So it's like these chicken women. They're essentially self-portraits. They've evolved. These two, the most recent two, are the two on the left, and they were what was included in the Salisbury University show. So I combine like this juxtaposition of the female body with like animal portraiture to kind of articulate like the discomfort within my own skin. Yeah, they're fun. So this is more of that. Right now I'm working on kind of entanglements of this, so like more sexually charged imagery. I know this is pretty sexually charged, but they're actually like engaging with one another, which I don't have anything to show at the moment, but I do have like preliminary drawings done. Runneth Over was a series of animals that were about being an empath, and kind of like your cup runneth over was the concept. So all of these are roadkill. This is work that I produced in the last residency. So they're more of an elaboration on that Runneth Over series. And you'll see like, I kind of went rogue, for lack of a better word. I had a lot of things happen from what you've gathered. Like I got robbed, my car broke down. And I just was like, I just wanted to have fun. So I was kind of experimenting and exploring like media and just not really fixated on series as an actual concept. But I do have a very articulate vision that just never came to light because of everything I experienced during the last residency. So these are just some of the like playful, whimsical pieces that came from that, which is like, again, really working through like the Runneth Over series and like digging deeper into it, and more so like experimenting with texture, media, femininity as a concept, embracing that like fully instead of like kind of leaning away from it. And then I got really into unicorns for a second. God only knows. I don't know. I just am here. I didn't make me, not responsible for it. So these were like more of a healing energy, like while I was going through some of the things, like it was like a way for me to like, again, just like really lean into my feminine energy. This is part of that whimsical series, not really important, just kind of a weird caveat. And then now we're back, everyone. We're back. We've come full circle. So what I want to do is vultures stalking small children, specifically like, female, like little female girls. So they kind of have a clergy energy, which I'm into. I like the little, like they give like, what is that called? The little thing that
Collar.
ministers wear. We're never gonna know. Anyway, so this is them. They're kind of predatory. We love that. I like the gaze again. I'm interested in exaggerating on them. So this is like some bird portraiture that I've done just for context. I did a cockfighting series, which is about the homoeroticism and the patriarchy, especially in like, you know what I mean. Anyway, this is where we landed. And I didn't really love it. So like, I'm going to reimagine it. It has the hands like the doe does. I'm really not bringing this home, not landing the plane, but has hands. We were interested in the hands. I think I'm more interested in exaggeration in a different context. So like longer necks, like more disproportion. I'm also interested in integrating things like bones, insect wings, insect legs. That's it. Hard stop.
That was like a freight train and then a hard stop.
Yeah. It's a lot of visual information, but that's like me in a nutshell. I'm kind of just like I don't know, I barrel through it. But I am interested in exploring kind of like making it like Joan, like the last residency was like, make it a little weirder. But I was like, how? Because I really am interested in femininity. So I do want to embrace that. So it's like towing that line of negative space, positive space, background, foreground, but also like femininity, masculinity, etc. Hopefully that landed. I don't know.
No, I understand what you're going for. We didn't get to see the final vulture, I think, and I was shocked when you pulled it up because it felt a little bit more passive than I expected it to be.
That's why
it actually
that's why I
had.
couldn't show it.
Oh, okay.
That's why I stopped. I just like I took it, I put it into the whimsical series and I moved on, and I have a whole nother bird that I haven't documented, but I'll share it at the next one. But I
Okay.
do have a whole nother bird that I started, and it's like way more in line or in keeping with like what I was envisioning for it. It needs to be more menacing. It can't be this like pretty, like human hands. Ooh, like it's just not weird enough.
Right. Yeah, and I felt like the hands on the last one, they looked like they were in the process of becoming human hands, like they hadn't fully formed yet.
Yeah,
So
no, yeah.
in comparison to, the textural qualities of some of the other elements of that particular painting and then your previous paintings. I mean, it was beautiful to look at, but in terms of like your goals is what I'm
It's
referring
not
to.
it. Yeah. That's why I was like, and I think it's like I needed time and space to like figure it out because it just wasn't coming together. It's a really sensitive series for me. So like I'm willing to like I want to take the time. That's the whole goal, is like not to rush through it. So yeah, I'll show you where I'm at now. It's white background, it's super exaggerated neck. I've ditched the hands, and I've just really pushed distortion, which
Mhm.
and I'm gonna see how that lands. And then like if that's not successful, I feel like it's somewhere in between, which is like also okay.
Right.
We
Well,
love a
good.
binary.
I'm glad that you're still exploring. I feel like we've learned so much about you tonight. First of all, I didn't know that you had two birds. Didn't know that you did taxidermy. There's like all these layers that are just coming out right now, and it's all starting to make sense. So I won't need to read your autobiography when it comes out. I've already got it
I love
figured
that. Demystify.
out. Any other comments?
Well, I love seeing all of that all at once, back to back to back, and really connecting the dots from series to series. And yeah, the hands on that last one, I mean, they could be human, but they could be like, "Arr, arr." They were too
Or they could be
soft.
praying. Like I'm really on the fence.
It could
That
be.
was, that was the PG version.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't know if you mentioned it last time, something about the vultures and that priest-like or, church-like figures. Like, yes, I mean, obviously everything that's going on right now with all the court cases. Had dinner with a friend this weekend and learned in detail about his like childhood Catholic priest abuse, and he's in the middle of that settlement and everything. Interesting that the vultures, they do feel like that.
Yeah. I
Love to
mean,
see that pushed.
and I really don't want to be so hyper literal. And that's the thing. Like, that's why I keep steering away from like insects and bones and all the things. But I think that I need to lean into that to find the middle ground. So I'm going to do both. And then I'm going to come out on the other side of it, hopefully.
Where do you find the time?
I
You're-
don't have the time. I'm so tired, Michael. I'm so tired.
So
Normalize it.
um,
I'm so
it's
fucking
on sleep.
tired.
That's what it is.
I went to bed at 4, woke up at 7, finished grading, submitted them at 3, and then worked until 7. And now I'm here.
Oh
So
my God.
Wow.
Yeah, I
don't
thought I
get
was
robbed.
today.
Look alive, everyone.
Yeah. At work, in your job, after a gallery opening, just for the rest of your knowledge, is when her laptop got taken right out of the office. Anyway, your time's
That's
up.
it. That's time up.
Keep going.
Yay.
Oh, music and
I
everything,
know,
Michael.
they updated everything, so
Wow.
I'm a little at a loss. I don't know what to say. Well, thank you, Caitlin. That was really good, and I feel like even like Kelly and Andres haven't been introduced to your work before, but you gave a good overview, which is all we're really trying to do. And of course, I understand what it is that you're working towards. This is your second residency here, so. I was so excited when I saw your work, when I unrolled it in the gallery. I think because when you see something on the screen, also like my impression of it, even though I knew what the size was, is it felt more like a small illustration as opposed to a larger banner. So when I unrolled it and saw it in that scale on the wall, I was like, oh, I'm like, I love this.
Thank you.
And I love the responses, because either people love it or they're just like, what the hell's going on? And why does that chicken have a vagina? Like, I mean, how many times do you hear that in a gallery? Why does the chicken have a vagina? I don't know. Why did it cross the road? I don't know.
Oh, that's my next show title. Thank you.
Awesome. already a little bit of output. That's good. All right. I'm actually just going in order of seniority tonight. So I hope that's okay. So we're going to go over to Jennifer next. Like you can all tell that Jennifer's in my upper left-hand corner of my screen. Jennifer, are you frozen? You okay?
Yeah, it keeps going in and out. So it's like it'll catch up and I'll hear what you're saying, and then it'll be really fast. Like it'll
Right.
pause and anyway. So it's my turn.
Context, she's in Houston and she's been without electricity until Sunday. And there's a lot of infrastructure issues still related to, what was the name of the storm again? The B?
It was Hurricane Beryl.
It messed me up
Yeah,
too.
it knocked out the
My electrical box exploded. That was 4,000 pesos. One of the studio rooms in the back, it like caught on fire. And so there's no electricity in that
oh my
space.
God.
Currently the air conditioners are not connected to any electricity because that was the electrical box that blew up. I mean, there's water in the kitchen constantly dripping in the gallery space. There's some water. And both of the bathrooms, and it's Mexico. So the landlord's like, well, maybe after rainy season, which is November, like, I was just like, what the fuck? So.
Oh wow. Yeah,
Right.
these things are they're a pain.
Life, adulting. All right. So this is not your time, Jennifer. We're going to go on to your time now. Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm happy to be here again. I was excited that I get to do this again. I got a lot out of it last go around, and then we had the show in Ventura, which was really beautiful. So
Oh my God.
for everyone here, my name is Jennifer Nario. I am a painter. I'm based out of Houston, Texas, and I went to UT Austin. I used to do commercial art for interior design. I don't advise doing that at all. Outside of that, I'm in the commercial space of branding and marketing. My goals, just like Katie said, are kind of the same from the last time, is to break away from the isolation of working solo because that's super lonely. But being a part of this last time really pushed me and was the accountability, and then bouncing off ideas was quite helpful. And then I would like to produce one piece that represents both of my conceptual styles, which I'll get into, and meets the criteria for the theme of the show, which seems pretty exciting. So the first series I'm going to talk about is my Grasp series. These are they're figurative pieces that I do of close-ups of touch, basically. They play on body positivity, intimacy, beauty, and vulnerability. I started these to just kind of do these like snapshots of myself grabbing my skin. And then I used the forms that I was making with my own skin as a type of landscape. This one in the middle was the first one. So to me, that was like a mountainscape. And then, if you blur your eyes a little, it kind of looks like a desert hill or something. But anyways, that's how it started. And then I picked it back up and started doing all of these. And something that I did after that was I moved away from one singular model. So I would ask individual people, to send me photos, or I would take photos of them doing it to themselves. But I started incorporating couples, and I found this to be interesting as well because I was becoming a part of this intimacy that these couples were having, and it brought the work to life in different ways. Like this couple right here, they they were excited about this experience, and it just kind of brought them closer in a way. And then they were joking around and they're like, "Do you want this picture?" And I was like, yes I do. So it's just another way for me to incorporate these models into the work itself. And this is an ongoing series that I do regardless of any other work that I'm doing. And these are pretty small. They're the biggest is about 24 inches. Usually they're square. Just because they're really quick. The way that I work is super wet into wet, and so I'll just lay all the colors just like flat and then blend, and that I can get a painting done in about 3 hours. And so I feel like I've accomplished something. And I know when we're working on more detailed pieces, I heard Joan talk about that she takes forever on stuff, that those pieces, I mean, like I end up hating myself when I'm working on those because I'm like, man, my whole life is being wasted right now. But it's not, it's just like this painful thing. But these, I feel like I'm checking it off, and I feel accomplished. So it's like, it's my little motivator. So I don't think I'm ever going to stop these, and I bring them up because I want to try to incorporate it in combination with the theme of the show. So I'll get to that in a minute. But the start of my work started with me doing these whimsical landscapes where I would do some sort of traditional landscape, incorporate an animal, usually an animal that either lived in that area or didn't, and then something else. So it would always play with some sort of social commentary, and I would balance tradition and contemporary perspective, then kind of just out there. This one is my Vengeance of the Donkeys. I made this one, the last of this series, actually. And my little prehistoric pop. This is my little religious commentary because there's so much news now, but back when I made these in 2011, there was like a lot of new talk for whatever reason about the like the Bible Museum, and they were saying like evolution is false or whatever. So I was like, okay, well, if it's false, then I guess the dinosaurs could have died in bubblegum. Like, who gives a fuck? So that's kind of like that's where the
Really
satire
fun.
comes out. Yeah.
Love it.
And the other thing about these is they're colorful and bright, and a little bit childlike in the source. Like, this is bubblegum, there's popsicles, there's pinatas. Like, these are things that are approachable. And so once you start sitting in on it, then you kind of it opens up a door that might not have been there as a viewer earlier. Here's my little spite one. It's like, oh, well, if I can't fly, at least I'm gonna fly my kites. And this one, actually, this one, the deer was the last one, but that one's less whimsical. I just was trying to play with lighting and outdoor, but they're roasting marshmallows on their antlers. And I'm sorry, the picture is really small, but these are old and I don't have the originals. So what I had done during the residency was try to do an extension of the landscape idea, but I zoomed in on it. And I think that comes from, my graph series is so upfront and up close, and then the landscapes are, full landscapes. So that's how I got to doing this. But I was like down a rabbit hole at the time about plastic pollution and the plastics treaty and all the political stuff going on at all times. And so I made this through the time together at the last residency. And it was really interesting. Just because the trash took me forever and I was cursing it the whole time. And then something that everyone helped me during that time was I had this idea to try to put actual trash on the piece itself, and I was uncomfortable and nervous, and everyone kind of talked me into just attempting it, and I did, and I really like it. I should have put a zoomed in picture, but all these folds you see here are actual plastic bags, and like right here, I don't know if the mouse is moving, but anyway, it was a push out of my comfort zone and it really worked. And I enjoyed that aspect of the residency. So this, oh, here's another anecdotal piece. This was like, I had gone to the emergency room for a women's emergency room for my uterus that was bleeding out. And there was a man that came in and he was like, "Oh, I got bit by a catfish. Can anyone see me?" And then like the nurses left me and I was like, "Oh, okay, this is cool." So that's what this one came out of. And I don't ever really, it doesn't really fit the other ones other than the animal stuff, but I really liked it just because it's so personal. And then I think my catfish are really cute and shiny and like I want to touch them in real life. So I'm showing it. And then for the Affirma show, I want to create a painting that
You have 3.5 minutes.
is more okay. I want to create a painting that talks about the imprint that people leave through memories. I think that's a universal concept with cultural boundaries because I'm not really religious and I don't have a culture really. So I want to use negative space and the touch of a body, but I also want the background to be the landscape. So that's kind of what I was talking about with the combination of my grass with my landscapes. And that's my goal, to make that. But also during the last residency, I found myself like struggling to create any kind of documentation or the marketing after, because we had that show and then we needed to promote it. And my background was marketing and I was like, okay, well, I'm failing at this. So I think throughout this, since we do have a longer time period, I want to also incorporate that into the thought, just because that's how my brain works. Like this is a thing, and I'm working on this piece as art, but also the other part of my brain is like, oh, well, we got to sell it, right? We're having a show for it. So I don't know if that's worth talking about at all, but it was a thought that came up after the Ventura show. So I wanted to put it on there as maybe one of my goals. So
Yeah,
here's my spiel.
I mean, it makes sense. And I should say this because nobody would know this. She was in another group that was like a 6-week short group. So that's why this time she has 12 weeks. So so the short group will start in August and they'll have 8 weeks instead of 6 weeks this time. So
Nice, Jennifer. That was great to see all your previous work. I saw the final trash piece in person, but hadn't, other than on the like one Zoom, hadn't seen anything else. So that was, love those crazy multiplicitous animals doing oddball things. Really cool.
Thank you.
me too. That's how it started out, right? We did a feature on your work in last November. Last November, a year ago. Yeah, over a year ago. I guess not a year ago.
Yep.
So yeah, that's how I was introduced to your work. All right. Anyone else? We're going to go on to Andres. Hi, Andres.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Let me share my screen. Okay. So hope you can see my screen. Yep. Okay. So my name, is Andres Juarez. Actually, I'm originally, from Juarez, Mexico. I live in the border of Ciudad Juarez and El Paso, Texas, and also, being, living in the Mexico City, so I'm traveling a lot, going to El Paso, coming to, back, to Juarez and going to Mexico because of this, all the exhibitions and all the stuff, depending on the time of the year, but well, basically what I do is I'm a photographer. I feel a little bit overwhelmed, and embarrassed, with a lot of painters, but yeah, I did something different, but hope you'll also like this. I'm the issues that I always try to address is yeah, gender identity, gender expression, some kind of discrimination and LGBTQ plus phobia, and also the feminicides that we have the city. Okay, and I'm always asking myself, about what it means to be a human, because it's really a difficult question, to answer. So it's when you start knowing some other people, they are totally different, from you, and yeah, sometimes they show you, a different way, to be a person, a human. Okay, so and yeah, I like to, make visible those say here, those little known realities probably in my world, because I realized when I started, creating, some photographs regarding the transgender males, that they were visible, for me, but not for the rest of the world. And yeah, that really shocked me, Okay, so my work, has been exhibited in several places around the world, and currently I'm working with transgender males and their body transformation. Okay, and this is not a project that had to do with transgender. It was one of my previous projects that had to do with. It's called the Spotless Others, and it has to do with with discrimination. It was something kind of funny because it was like a mixture of two things. When I was a kid, I went to church. I live in a very Catholic family, and we went to church every Sunday, and I saw, this all these virgins, and actually I always ask, why they were not like, the people that were like close to me, I mean, they were all beautiful, like European. I mean, this kind of, the virgins that we have, on churches in Catholic temples. So I said, why, why this is happening? I always had, that in my mind. And, yeah, when I grew up, I had, this opportunity to create, my own set of virgins. And I created, this because I thought that probably they were discriminated, I mean, it was just, the second part of this is, yeah, it doesn't probably is not something real. I mean, but I just thought that it was like a virginary. So they selected, the ones that are, beautiful, and they put them, created, these images and put it on the churches, and the ones that they didn't comply, with this idea of beauty, um, they were just, hiding somewhere, and I just bring them, so that the rest of the world can see like the virgins. So this is a series of like around 10, 12 photographs. And then I started photographing transgender males. It all started when, in a party, we were asking about transgender females, and we asked, about the transgender males, and nobody actually knew one transgender male, so I started, doing my research, and I found a lot of transgender males, in the United States and Europe, and not in Mexico. So I started digging, and then I met, this person who actually introduced me to the transgender male world. So I'm started, going to these events, and chatting with them, and learning a little bit, about how they communicate, the words they use, all that stuff, so I can probably approach one of them and asking, for, to model for me and to be in front of my camera. So yeah, that's how it started, and yeah, and I ended up, with a series of I don't know, 200 photographs probably, of like 13 models now. And yeah, it's been really a great, for me, a really amazing project, working with, with these models that now they are my friends. Most of them I still have contact with them, and yep, they we chat, and they invite me to their parties, birthday parties, or things like that. Okay, so for the goals, regarding the goals, well, basically connect with you, with you, the other artists that are going to be part of this residency. Of course, develop probably new ideas for this new project. I don't know what's gonna come up, with this or after this, because yeah, one of my ideas is to create, some photographs that probably would detonate the process of a new project. But what happens to me all the time is that I start with an idea and I ended up, with something different. I mean, not really, like what I had in my mind, for the first photograph. And that really, it really inspires me. And I'm really happy, of this because I take a look, at all the whole process and how it started and, the ideas that I had at that moment. And then how it muted, to, like another kind of project, even if I had, this idea, but it ended up, being something else, something different. So, and yeah, the other, actually, the next goal is going to be, like get inspired, by you, and probably inspire you, when collaborating with my ideas. Okay, and what I try to achieve here, well, basically, talking about death, rebirth, FTM transition, probably try to project, some feelings, calmness, security, hope, for transgender males. Um, of course, this kid is not a transgender, but I really like, the way he looks, and the photograph that I took, at that time. It was a long time ago. But yeah, something probably like this, using digital photography and exploring some kind of textures, physical intervention of the photographs, the actual printing, and the possibilities are endless. I don't know what's going to happen. I have used, like, I don't know, some kind of intervention with baking soda, with acid, with a lot of stuff, oils, and probably, yeah. Um, I don't know. I've been, working with something similar to this image, and probably they can be something that can inspire me. I have a rough idea of what can I do, but probably it's not going to be like an exterior photograph. So yeah, I have a lot of questions, but I know that I can handle them, and start working on the answers. And the main one is how to resolve, this idea of transgender male rebirth, and that of the female body in the rebirth of the male identity, and work on the imagery. And just to finish, yeah, again, use this kind of probably images, something like this. Of course, not with the rope, because this was created, for another project, but something similar to this image, like you are, rebirthing, from with a different body, something like that. So in I'm really thrilled, to engage, with this the community and you girls, and also it's important, to share the insights and receive feedback, from you. I think this is really valuable, and also get to, brainstorming of new concepts, refine the existing ones, and yeah, I mean, that that diverse perspectives will give us, hopefully, will give me, incredible advancements. So let's, yeah, make this journey together, and something like this. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not really sure, what is going to happen, but this is more, I mean, probably I need to just put together like all of this and come up, with a totally new project, and yeah, a a photograph or something like that.
Well, it's exciting. I mean, the thing is, I mean, if you've been here before, you understand, you've seen other people creating, everybody has their own process. So for me, it's exciting to experience your processes and the way that you create things, because it's quite often so completely different than the way that I myself work, or would even look at your work and think that that's the way that it gets produced. Or you know how it is, you meet people, you profile their personality, and then you're like, this is the way they work, and then they completely surprise you. So
Right.
excited to see what you come up with as well. And obviously, I mean, there, in terms of the cycle of life and death and transformation, like it's in the name trans. Okay, like it's so
Correct.
I think it's super interesting, and I know that the subject matter can be kind of upsetting for some audiences and things, but also it's extremely topical.
And that's the objective, actually, to be, I mean, yeah.
Well, you also said
Especially like in the
but you also said the objective is that if somebody walks into the gallery and sees this, they would, if they see themselves in it for the first time,
Oh yeah,
discover
definitely.
who they are as well, which I think is the power of the stories that we tell. Is
Yes.
that when people identify with the story, then they identify with the art, and then they see things in a different way. So I think it's a super powerful thing. So
Yep. Okay.
So, all right. Well, thank you very much, Andres. Very excited. Great. Well, Kelly and now joined by. So
Gavin's here.
Yeah, hi everyone. Sorry, I'm very late.
He was at the dentist. He has to get a root canal, so he had like a tooth emergency.
so sorry for your loss.
Fun times. Yeah.
Right. Share. Where is it? There it is. All right. So we just jumped on, I don't know, Michael, what, 3 days ago or something?
Saturday.
So we're very new to the group. So I just threw this together quickly just to give you a little intro about us. Like we're a husband and wife duo, and we do sculptures in a vast array of materials. We work in stainless steel, bronze, corten steel, and a variety of stones as well. We usually work on a larger scale, mostly monumental sculpture. So I'd say like through our designs, we're trying to really connect to like to challenge kind of the social and esoteric norms of existence and create pieces that are thought-provoking and produce like an energy field that's resonant, that help people heal, induce feelings of peacefulness, like calming, that kind of thing. So that's our artist statement. This is just a little bit about our background. So we don't have a traditional like art background. Like Gavin, you could talk about your background.
Yeah, I've been interior design, and in
somebody else was in interior design.
Who else is in interior design?
No, that's somebody else.
She was working for interior designers.
Working for interior design. Okay.
So I've been in interiors since kind of 16 years old. I've done everything from getting involved with kind of drapery, selling fabrics, making furniture, small decoration projects, to eventually doing kind of large scale projects, 50, 60,000 square feet homes. I've done some jets, some yachts, and kind of done really crazy kind of details. And then there's kind of been a missing market for us in sculptures. So we kind of got into sculptures 4 years ago to do sculpture.
Yeah, about 4 years ago. So it's actually kind of how we met. So my background is right here. So I actually went to school to be a veterinarian and switched to marketing, but I've always been like, very much into the art world. I took a class at Art Center to learn some like 3D modeling. I actually learned how to use Gravity Sketch on the Oculus. We both learned how to use that. And then we actually were introduced by somebody when we were both single, and I was in the process of making an installation for Burning Man. So I told Gavin that I couldn't date him at the time because I was too busy with this project. And then we ended up doing it together, as a collaboration. So it was a icosahedron sacred geometry structure that's out in Deep Playa, the center of a Fibonacci spiral of isosceles triangles. And then you could sit within the sacred geometry, and there was, healing frequencies and nature music that resonated throughout the piece. So we actually created that together. That would be our first sculpture. There's a picture up in the top right. And the past 10 years, I've been a botanical artist. So I've done a ton of different projects, a lot of brand collaborations using primarily preserved moss, but also florals. I did a piece for Art Basel, for We Rise LA. I don't know if you guys heard of that exhibit that's about mental health awareness, so a bunch of other stuff. So now I'm kind of leaving, not entirely, but leaving part of the botanical world behind, and we're going into other materials and exploring those together collaboratively. So we call our company Form 4. We kind of have like a commercial side of our company because we work with interior designers and architects, and we create sculptures for their clients. It's very much a collaborative process with the client in terms of what they want to create, where it's going. But then we're also at the same time, and part of the reason why we're here is we're also carving out like our fine art gallery art line, which will be independent of this. But obviously we rely on the same, process and resources and all that sort of thing. So like I said before, we design everything in the digital realm. Like we'll do some sketching or make mood boards and kind of discuss what we want to do. And then from there, we actually create OBJ 3D models in Gravity Sketch, which can be like exported and fine-tuned in Rhino and a couple of different things. And then we work with fabrication houses all across the world, depending on the material. The sculpture is where it's going, a bunch of other things. If it's casted, or, as you can see, some of this here is casted versus forging. There's a lot of different processes depending on the sculpture. So then we send that out to a fabrication house to get created. So these are some of the sculptures that we've done. This one on the left of the two of us on the left is in Dubai. We actually flew there to install that, which was really cool. That tall one's like in Beverly Hills here with a client of Gavin's. Some other stuff we've done. We actually collaborate with our other artists as well. This is Gregory Siff, painted on our sculptures called First Light, that pair of sculptures there. So that was one of our first collaborations. I also have I can show you here another collaboration. This collaboration I'm working on Photoshop here is, I don't know if you guys have heard of the artist Lefty Out There. He's a street artist. He's known for his polymorph design. So this form, which we call the pod, is our design. And then we integrated Lefty's polymorph design into that screen that kind of sits in the middle of this pod. So we love doing collaborations. Here's a couple other pieces. This one on the left is like Kissing Lovers. We actually proposed this piece, and maybe we can talk about that. There was a big public project in Palm Springs. It was a Palm Springs Pride art installation. They want to do a public art piece, which this is what we submitted for that, but much larger scale.
We designed a 50-foot version of this, which was pretty crazy on engineering. And unfortunately, when you could actually walk through the two pieces, and then on the one side, there was a heart that glowed. It just caught you with the glow of the LED. Unfortunately, we didn't get chosen, but we did some pretty amazing engineering, so we can now use this for another project because it was to do with the wind force, earthquakes, and at that height, with the size of the foundation we use was quite a complicated process.
Beautiful.
And then this one's called Oasis. This piece obviously is kind of a caricature of a cactus, per se, and this is kind of, it's a little bit about resiliency, withstanding difficult times, through life, which we obviously all go through, and kind of that harder exterior shell that we build up, that we get to break through, to kind of grow and learn and develop. Some other pieces here, Sacred Remnant, and the bronze piece, the polished bronze, is the pod. This is the version, the same one that we did with Lefty, but with our own screen in the inside. Here's a stone piece here on the right called The Other Side. I'm trying to see if I have anything else in here. This is a piece that we're developing right now called Journey Within. Moonwave. These ones from here on are in process. So you can see the different materials. Yeah. So because we just jumped on board, we don't have a formulated idea for what we're doing for this, but we will next week, obviously. You know, kind of the whole meaning behind our sculptures are very spiritual and esoteric. We actually have been talking a lot about the quantum realm and quantum physics. I just finished a book called The Journey of Souls, you know, which is about past lives and regression into the in-between states. So we're integrating that into our work.
Mhm.
Even if it's not spoken, you know, the energy of it is put into the work. So obviously that fits really well into the theme, you know, of this exhibition.
Yes, absolutely. And you'd sent me a PDF with some pieces that were available for the show. You were talking about one particular piece. Is that like the idea was that's ready if the piece that you developed here
Yeah,
doesn't?
for the Materialis show, it'd be this. We were thinking about this piece, this bronze.
Okay, that's what it was. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think we're gonna develop something brand new for this group.
Okay.
You know, I've had some initial, you know, thoughts, kind of just listening to all you guys, you know, playing off like the altar and having that be kind of an antenna, how we can talk to the other realms of where, you know, because people are never gone, they're just changing energy, you know.
Mhm, mhm.
So that I kind of want to play off of that. But haven't gotten to what the form of that is, what kind of materiality we're going to use yet. That kind of comes secondarily, yeah.
Right, right. Well, it'd be interesting to see how the project develops and what comes of it as well. So I don't know if everybody had the opportunity yet to go onto Patreon to create an account for the residency to keep connected outside of this conversation that we have every week. But I did post photos of one of the two spaces. They're duplicate spaces. The only difference is a higher ceiling, and of course the area itself is quite beautiful. Like it's a very colonial, turn of the century neighborhood. This one huge square block. You feel like you're in Spain, or you know, it's very very interesting area. Of course, it's right next to the Perferico, so it's interesting that only like literally like 150 yards away is one of the busiest highways in Mexico. You know, like it's right there, and you can't hear it or anything over in the space. And then it's this magical sort of old world space. I've been to a couple of openings there. They're very well attended, and currently there's nothing. It was nothing happening there. There was a concert in there when I was there because there's a small theater there. I had the impression that maybe based on the diversity of talent, that maybe it was like, because it's a Casa Cultura. So there's a room off to the side where they teach art classes, they have dance classes, singing classes. So I think it was like a singing class that was performing for families or something like that. It was kind of cute because the first singer that I saw was wretched. And I was like, wow, I know what's happening here. And then like, you know, there were some people that were actually quite good. So it was kind of funny. I was like, this must be a family thing. Anyway, so the show itself is going to open on October the 4th, Friday, October the 4th, and it will close on the final, on the festival day, November the 2nd. Which is a really good time for the theme of the show. So I'm very happy that we were able to agree on a time where we were actually overlapping the holiday as well. So, but although, I mean, you know, spend any time in Mexico City, you know, like, you know, it's almost August. So the Pan de Muerto will be out like, you know, in 2 weeks, and, you know, and everything will start transforming to Dia de los Muertos, especially right after Independence in September. You know, it's always like the Independence, Dia de los Muertos, And then like the Christmas festivities, which I forget what it's called right now. I don't know why I've forgotten. What is the Length festival called? It's like the
La Revolución Mexicana, probably
no,
after
I'm talking
the
about Navidad.
oh, Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's like it's Guadalupe to Reyes is what it's called, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like it literally like starts September in mid-September. It's like one party all the way through, January 7th,
January.
and then you have a recovery party on February like 5th or something, right? With tamales. So it's a party town. It's a party country, which I appreciate. And the cat doesn't go after the birds. I mean, yeah, there's a lot going on there today, Caitlin. I'm going to be unpacking this all night in my mind. And also, which is wonderful, is I really felt like I might be going into a hard sell situation, but they had already gone through the 4 magazines and contacted several artists to check in on us and stuff like that. And so when I said to him, I'm looking for an off-site location from the art fairs for Semana de Arte and for a photography show, and so they were like, absolutely, we want to do this with you too. So I'm super excited about that because it allows what I love to do, which is create way too much work to get done in a very short amount of period of time. No, I like to layer the exposure. I like to have like different methods for people to find us and create a visibility around these certain times. So I feel like it supports our mission to support the visibility of the artist, and it's certainly creating a lot of interest in the work that we're doing. So I think it's fantastic. The photos of this space that I posted, the unique aspect of this is because it's a historic patrimony to Mexico, the space, they have what are called mamparas, are floating walls on wheels. And that's what we'll be using. We're not allowed to technically use the cement walls around the exterior of the room. So I'm waiting to hear how many of those mamparas that they have and the scale of them. We have 2 huge spaces. I believe I counted like 15 in the one room, and there were several more than 15 in the other room. So it brings up a really unique challenge in terms of curating. And then I asked some questions about, so the first exhibition I had seen in there was a Oaxacan artist, and he had painted on bed sheets, and they were on the exterior walls. And so my thought is that the way he had that structured, he was able to put a pole between 2 mamparas, the floating walls, and then hang from those. So I'm hoping that that's the case as well, because I'll invest in some, hardware, because I would love to be able to do larger pieces as well, because my impression was the mamparas are probably about, I would say probably maybe 65 inches across. They're quite tall, and the spaces are quite tall, and the lighting is very flexible. So there's a lot of room in there as a curator to really explore how all your work and the other work that's coming will go together. 50% of the show will be Mexican artists, 50% will be international artists. And then of course the magazine and podcast and all the madness that goes around that. Some questions about the show as we're talking about that right now.
So Michael, when you move those walls, can you conceivably pair 2 of them? Because in the photo they were just like
they were
spacefully, and I thought maybe they were fixed in place. So okay.
No, they're on wheels. That's why I was, I'm with my sight disability, I'm very scale challenged. But like the ideal of putting the walls together to create even so that's why I was like, I need to know how many walls we have, and then if I can, put things between and then float things between, or, so there's a lot of space there for creativity. So I just need to know all the regulations as well. So, you know how it is. It's the government. So I don't want to take any chances and get there with a plan and then have them like say, no, you didn't clear it with us.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I've worked with this particular in Benito Juarez. I've worked with them before as a solo artist, so I'm pretty familiar with their style. But this is a much bigger show. Kelly, I thought you had your hand up to ask a question. Your hand,
No.
it's like woo. So like Kelly and Gavin with your sculpture, like, when we were talking, I was like, oh, there's the garden, but with the height of the space, especially on the first floor and those movable walls, I could see the sculpture being the centerpiece of the main space very easily. And I don't know if that means it would be the first thing that you see when you walk in, or if it's centered and then everything, can come from outside of it. It, depends what the sculpture will be. And then, but I like the ideal of this space. I'm very excited about it. I was a little nervous when I first saw it. I was like, oh, this is really interesting because, I mean, I suppose everyone is protective of cultural heritage. So, in terms of like the physical walls and everything, I want to be very conscientious of what we do, but I'm going to push it. So as far as we possibly can. So
I assume lighting wise, you're kind of stuck with just that overhead office space lighting they have. Or
no, the office lighting is task lighting. That's one switch, and then the other switch is the flexible lighting, and it's on a grid, so you can you can do anything with lighting. I mean, it's a great lighting system, so I was very happy about that.
Okay, good. I couldn't see that photo.
One of the Casa Culturas that I did a solo show in, the lighting had no flexibility to it, and it was very difficult because you couldn't see some of the work, and it was a little disappointing. But so other questions about this? Let's make some observations. Let's talk about the work that we just saw here tonight. Your impressions. I know, like,
yeah, we didn't get to comment there on Kelly and Gavin's sculpture. We just jumped into the next thing. So yeah, beautiful.
Let's open this floor up a little bit here. We got like 10 minutes here.
And I have a mini me here. That's Alexa.
Hi.
Those of you who don't already know her, yeah, you'll see her every week, I'm sure. She's 10. Anyway, beautiful work, lovely.
Yeah.
Really, I love that you work together and work out concepts. And then, of course, that you mentioned bringing in other artists too. I love that screen in that, pod shape that you have. Yeah, very beautiful. I agree, like serene and zen work for the most part. Definitely getting that vibe. And yeah, I look forward to seeing more of what you do.
Yeah, Andres, you made a comment about like the sort of like, painters, and I'm a photographer, but this is the way that we do it. We do try to mix it up as much as possible, because the way that each of the media works, the perspectives bring out unique information within the time frame as well. So the way that you see something as a photographer compared to a sculptor and a painter, and what are we calling you, Caitlin? You're not a painter, you're mixed media, you're.
When you figure it out, let me know.
All right.
A visual artist, boom.
Visual
Yeah.
Right.
Interdisciplinary.
Yeah, that's the word, right? Everybody uses.
Medium queer.
Medium queer, yeah, that's it. Collage based, so much collage in your work. When you see the surfaces in person, they're so collaged.
Right. Yeah, so I mean, it's going to be really good. It's a little bit earlier than I wanted to open the show, But the way that they structure their shows, it worked out fairly well for us anyway. So I'm good with that. Other questions? Threats? Anybody want to throw anything?
Michael, are you curating the entire show or like our part?
No, the whole show is the Bureau of Queer Art, Volume 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't clear because you were saying like half of them from Mexico. I didn't pick up that
Oh, I
that was the other. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Jennifer, because the show that you were in was in Ventura, you know, and we couldn't raise enough money to transport more Mexican artwork across the border. So that's why the percentage was definitely off, not a little bit off. Maybe it was like 30% Mexican art. Andres was in it, the Gemelas. Yeah, what's going on over there?
Alexis has a question for Kelly.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Did you take clay classes in college? Is that what you wanted to ask? Like
Yeah.
clay sculpture?
No, I was more of like make stuff with like things I have around my house sort of thing. But no, I mean I've worked with clay, like, but I'm not trained with it. But
Tyler made a foot.
Yeah, I did. I
made a
sculpted my
foot.
foot, you know, back in figurative clay class in
Yeah.
undergrad. And it's still, it's up.
You still have it?
It's still up on the dresser, and I now compare it to my much older foot. And let me tell you,
Like the actual foot.
Love it.
When you say much older foot, you mean the foot on your body, or?
the foot on my body is much older, and I carved it, you know, out of clay, really pretty well, right? Like, and so you can look at it now and see like I'm growing a bunion, or like it's flat, or my arch is flat. Like I should take my foot and the sculpture to a podiatrist and have him give me an eval.
He's
My
just
20-year-old
gonna say,
foot to my now foot.
he's going to say, "Oh, you're dying."
Yeah.
All right. It's time to make a new foot.
We digress. Yeah.
All right.
I should make the left because I think I made the right.
So unlike the last time, I will put everything into our group on Patreon. So there'll be a link that this records to YouTube. It's in a private, so it's only accessible by the link. So the links will be there. There's a group on Wednesday nights, and they'll be in there as well. So you're welcome to look at their stuff. I'm looking at some different ways that we might be able to cross-populate. So I think the easiest way to do it is to allow people to attend the other group if they want to, and set up a set of guidelines as a visitor, so that the people in the other group don't feel like, you know, their time is being overlapped or something like that. But if you want to go to the other group and add your commentary into it and understand what's going on in the other group, you're going to be welcome to do that as well. You just have to let me know, because I have to share you a different link for the Wednesday night group. And then in August, we'll have a second group starting. It's supposed to start on the 15th, but I think I'm going to start it a week early because the show is starting a little bit earlier than I thought it was. So I want to make sure that we get a little bit more time. I am available. The link also for scheduling was sent to you guys if you need to schedule a one-on-one meeting. And it's also in the Patreon as well. So if you would like to meet to discuss anything before the next meeting, or work through an issue with me one-on-one, please feel free to use that link to schedule an appointment, okay?
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Michael.
I'm super excited. Oh, beautiful doggy.
Thanks, everybody. Oh, that's Freddie. You're going to meet the whole family every week, I'm going to tell you. Caitlin, your birds and our cat, this dog would attack and eat all three of them.
All of them, right. I think my dogs would probably do the same thing, unfortunately. And you are encouraged to make a beverage of your choice and bring it with you. I know it's the end of the workday, so if you need a cocktail to get through the last part of your day, to, you know, please bring one with you. We're all in different time zones, so.
Oh yeah, Kelly and Gavin, it's early still there, right? What is it?
Yeah.
6:30?
Yeah, it's
6:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 9:30 here for me and Caitlin, and
Right.
about the others.
It was not our most extreme one. I had an artist in Russia, and I had
Oh
one.
my goodness.
And the Russian artist was on 2 in the morning. So
Wow.
Yeah. Because this, I
That's
think,
dedication.
we used to do
That's
like
amazing.
8 o'clock at night. So, and
Unbelievable.
yeah, and that was crazy. The Chinese artist was doing it at 6 in the morning. Yeah, that was crazy. I was like, I can't even imagine. Like,
Yeah, no.
for the Russian artist, he worked in the middle of the night, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But for the Chinese artist, it was like she woke up on screen with us every week.